too. So she can also email it out from here if she ever gets a special request. And I'll be here to try to do what I can do as best I can as soon as we get somebody to finally write us an offer.
Okay.
But once you see one go up there, I think you'll see others.
So then your suggestion is hold the price right now, for now?
I think I'd hold it through the summer.
Okay.
At least, and then let's readdress it again
Okay.
come late fall.
All right,
Okay?
sounds good.
You guys have a good night.
All right,
Thank you.
any questions for George? Thanks, George.
You bet.
George, how does the raise in market, on mortgages, that having an effect on?
Not
that?
yet.
Not yet?
No, no. So far, I think if we get to the 8% that they claim might be happening by August, which so far, I don't think it'll hit there that quick, but, cause we're getting a little close to that, but we're definitely in the 5.5 range now. So, it just adjusts some things what people can actually afford, but our homes that we're selling in this area are still very affordable. Even though they're in the 200s and maybe 300 ranges, that's still affordable for a lot of these younger families, believe it or not, cause they got some pretty good jobs.
Yeah.
But when you're building new, that's where the problem lies. A huge outlay of money just to build a house today, the cost per square is over 200 a square foot right now.
Cost and then to get this stuff if you want it, you know?
Yeah,
Who's got all that land that you have for sale on the corner of Bartlesville and B?
that's just a trust that owns that 23 acres there.
Nice little subdivision,
That's sold in 1 hour.
25 sold.
In
1
an hour?
I didn't even have the sign up.
Jesus.
It hit the MLS and I had 2 phone calls and an offer on my desk within an hour and 15 minutes, full price.
Was that
So-
for farmland, or was that for?
It went for 8,500 an acre. That's all farmland.
That's up a little bit.
So
Dave Durkin sold all his, or?
Yeah.
around
Wow.
here, we can't complain at the moment.
I guess
Is
not.
that the average price of farmland now, 8,500 that you're getting?
No, it probably is a little less than that, but this is
Over
another
seven?
this is another step up.
Over
And
seven?
here's the thing that you gotta watch, and you watch this, I'm sure, all the time, you look at the grain prices, look at the milk
Yeah.
prices, and all that stuff is at an all-time high. Well, if it's a farming situation, now they can afford to do more what they couldn't do when the prices were down here, so that drives it as well, so. And it was a farmer that bought it,
Really?
just for cash cropping, so,
Unbelievable.
Good for you.
Unbelievable.
yeah. So
All right.
anyway,
Thanks, George.
You bet.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
appreciate it.
good night, George.
Chad, can we take, I know they're not on the agenda, can we take care of these guys right away too first? Okay. So like, what do you guys, what's your name again?
Mike Reef.
Oh, Mike Reef, yeah, okay, you're the house next to him. Okay, what's up, Mike?
Yeah, I got the house on Island Drive, I bought.
Yep.
Well, when I bought it, I thought I wanted to remodel it. But now, I just gotta build a siding permit, which costs me $250.
Yeah.
That's 25% of what the siding's costing me. I mean, why is it so high?
The reason they've got all those fees, all our building fees got changed. They all got increased for the simple reason, because we have a building inspector now. What we do, that cost, what you're paying, just covers the cost of the girls working and the cost of the building inspector. We're not making any money on it.
That's just the siding. Now I have to
Yep.
pay, Mark just came in here, I spent $925 for him to put my electric in.
Yeah?
That don't do is $2,000 for building permits.
Probably all right.
Well, you think that's fair for you guys to jack my taxes after it's done? I know you can do that, right?
For you what?
You're gonna jack my taxes when it's done, right?
Well,
So you're gonna gain there again.
We're not gonna jack your taxes, we'll get it assessed, the assessor. The
Higher,
assessor-
so the taxes are
Right.
going up.
Well, it would make it fair, so then when you wanna sell it, you're gonna want the right amount price for it, too, won't you?
Well, there you go, you jacked up $2,000 right in my backyard.
All I'm saying is that the only reason we raise those fees is so we can cover the cost of our building inspector and the girls' work here. We're not making any money on it. That's nothing.
Well, I'm losing money by this way.
I don't know what to tell you.
I can understand you need building permits, but it's so ridiculous high, really? I mean, the windows I put in there, you guys charged me $25 for the window permit.
Yeah, now it's all
Now
changed.
it's $250.
Everything's changed.
In 6 months.
Yeah, everything's changed. Oh, yeah. There was all postings on that, there's always in the meetings, we had it all on the agenda, that it was all gonna be addressed, and they went through, the board passed it.
To some extent, our hands are kind of tied because the state is forcing us to do these inspections, and we have to hire an inspector to do this, and that's why the cost has gone up.
I don't think, you don't need that expensive inspector, did you? I mean, Trivers, I just talked to Mark, to get electric put in Trivers, $60. Here you guys are doubled it.
60?
Yeah,
I'd have to look at that
Yeah.
fee, cause we based it on all the around surrounding areas.
you go look on the internet, but.
And we don't, and our inspector's not full-time either, he's only part-time, so he's.
Well, I want his job, he must be getting paid a lot.
I'd like to have his job too.
Well, no, that's what, I mean, I don't know, it's,
Yeah, well, like I said, that's the only reason why it should have been, to be honest with you, those prices should have been raised up probably like 5-10 years ago. We just never kept up with the inflation and anything else, so. I mean, that's all I can tell you, Mike, I'm sorry, that's what it is.
I'll have to go with it, but it's gonna be a long time before I get the place done, man, cause I can't afford all this. The way the prices went up now, I'll get the siding done. Now I want the addition. That's $500 to have that addition put on. A 10 by 12 addition, $500, really? For me to put that
Yeah,
on?
with all the inspections, I don't know how many inspections are in there, you're looking at grading, footing,
The five.
there's five inspections, there's gonna be probably, if
It
there's.
says two.
Well, it depends, if there's
So
electrical.
that means he gets $250 for 15 minutes worth of work. Really?
Well, it doesn't boil down to that.
Well, yeah, it does. He's gonna come out to look at, okay, it looks good, walks out. I just paid him $250. He's coming twice for $500.
No.
Really, guys, come on now.
I don't know what to tell you, that's our rates, that's what we had to do.
Well, like I said, it'll probably be 10 years before she's done. I'm doing the best I can, but I can't afford these rates. I mean, like you said, the way the price of stuff went up, now you guys should charge me $2,000 more yet? Holy man. I believe that people are gonna make money, but
Yeah, yeah, at one time.
Look at Balders, Balders is, real low. Me, I'm here because I'm gonna be doing the work on a lot of this stuff to help them out and everything. And, it got me to looking through this, and he's been asking for a permit for over a year. And you guys were the ones that were dragging your feet. We've been trying to get this. He should be grandfathered, and I'm gonna ask you today.
That's right, we've been asking him to have a permit for years for doing the work he did that he
You
never
guys
did.
were telling
I
him
got
that you
the-
couldn't until he
I
owned
couldn't
the
because I didn't own it,
house. And then you
Randy
said
couldn't
that
get it because he didn't live there.
because he
That was
didn't
your-
own
Yeah,
the
and
house.
that's by the law, that has nothing to do with the village, that comes from the state. You can ask our inspector about that.
Wait, what is that?
He can't, you tell me somebody can have him on the house because he's not living there?
How is that, how do you explain that to us?
Cause he
that-
got he got a window permit
Yeah.
for $25 in his name.
Right.
Everything
the
was
windows-
golden, then all of a sudden, nothing changed in your policy, cause I watched this. Nothing changed in your policy other than waiting, well, I don't know intent, but, it ended up that he was trying, I know damn well he was trying along, for almost a year. He got told that he can't because he doesn't own the house, so he went out and owned the house. Then he was told that,
That's
Randy
true, that's-
can't get it because he doesn't live there.
The first part was
So-
true, that he couldn't because I think what Rick said is because that's a state statute or something like that, he couldn't do that work. See, I
No,
wish our
that's not
inspector
true.
was here to explain that
You
to
can
you.
sign off with the, there's things you can sign off that, it's like a waiver that says that you're waiving off liability, that if anybody gets hurt, killed, or anything like that,
Mhm.
it falls on you. So this is not a law, there's other ways that this stuff can be handled. My thing is I've been watching this, and again, here we're back to the same things that I had talked about last time that got us in a little bit of hot water, was I have the March 1st agenda, and there's nothing that says you guys are gonna discuss anything about the building permits. And then it's like trustee, Brank, or whatever, brought up that he was working with President Sams. Clark said, Rick Schwartz, is redo the building permit, he had the first draft building permits, President Sams explains more process the board needed to be, make decisions, discussion was held. It wasn't on the agenda. Again, 198481, same thing that got us in trouble
Just a
last time.
committee
I
report.
It was just a committee report, wouldn't have to be on the agenda, not unless you're taking any action on it.
That, not true, discussions are supposed to be as well.
And
especially things
I
like
would
that.
have to disagree with you on that.
Well,
That's
we
committee
disagreed
reports.
last time and we found
Was
out
it
what
under a committee
happened,
report?
but
Yeah.
Was it in there?
I'm pretty,
It was in there?
It's on a committee report.
it's in the it should, these two should match.
It should have been,
There's
Kathy said
time
it
and
should
time
have been in
again
there.
that you guys are having side
Did
discussions
you look
that
after,
aren't on the
look after the
agenda.
meetings, the minutes after that, was it in there?
Yeah, that's what I just read. It says that you guys had the discussion. You guys are having too many side discussions, and I brought it up to Kathy on the phone a while back. I believe that we've gotta button this up. And we're still having these issues, because had I known that this was coming, I would have been here. And I lost my, I was not notified, again, of this coming up, that this discussion was gonna be made, and input and everything like that. So you guys dropped the ball again. This stuff can get you guys in some pretty serious
I
trouble, because
disagree. I
things
think
can get
all the
reversed.
actions were done on it, were put on the agenda to take actions on
We
it.
didn't take
You
any
have to
action
have-
on the
if
kid,
you're
we just
having
wrote the report of
discussions-
what we were doing.
And there's no
I'm sorry,
report, there's
but
no action
this
was
is
taken.
basic. This is basic. If
Mhm.
you're having discussions of matters, you're supposed to bring them up.
All right,
You
then Kevin,
can't
I'll talk to Lambert about it and we'll get it squared
But-
away.
Here we go, and I got more of them and more of them that this is happening, and we covered this and stuff, and it's, now what do? I left you guys alone.
You left
with-
us alone. All
What is
you're
that
here,
attitude?
you're here because he's complaining about the building permits. It was put on the agenda that they were gonna be addressed and be erased. It's done. It was there. It was out to the public. It was in the minutes that we were gonna take care of it. Correct?
Which time?
I don't know, you have to
I'm
go
on
back and
this
look
one,
at the
I'm on
minutes. You know how
this
many
one,
minutes we
I'm on
have?
this one right now, we're handling this, sir.
I don't know which one you're on. I'm
Okay,
just saying,
again.
in order for us to approve, to change those building permit rates, that was put on the agenda.
Yeah, but the discussions beforehand, so people can have input and monitor them and everything like that.
That's why you come to those meetings when it's on the agenda and
It
says we're.
wasn't,
t-
exactly,
It
when
should have
it's
been
on the agenda, you guys.
It had to be on the
why-
agenda.
It's not.
We had it on the agenda.
For the passage, yes, but even that, the wording's a little loose, like action. Why this shaking of heads and stuff? This turns into a thing, it makes no sense, you guys escalate things constantly.
I'm not
Turning it
escal-
personally, shaking
Kevin,
your
I'm not-
head,
I'm not
doesn't do
escalating
any
anything.
good.
I'm not
It doesn't
escalating
do any
anything.
good.
We're not hiding anything.
You waited until after it passed, just like you did with me for the fence.
We didn't wait.
You didn't wait that I could fill that out?
No, with this, we didn't wait
No,
for
I'm
this.
saying, again, he was asking for a year to get the things. You guys were telling him you can't because of this, which wasn't true.
Well, that,
One of
I'm
them
not-
wasn't true.
I'm not gonna comment on that, cause I do not know. I'd have to talk to our building inspector on that, because
Exactly.
he's the one who said
If
we
you
cannot
find
do
out
it.
otherwise,
Right.
I would ask you guys to refund him because he
So
should
if you
be
want,
grandfathered
why don't you
in.
guys come down to our, well, I'll get a hold of Rick, we'll get him at our next meeting, and we'll explain that to you. I'll have him explain
That's
how
why I
that
thought
works.
you would be here.
Yeah, well, he was here at our last meeting, and he gave an update on what's going on the properties and things like that. So, is he off yet? Is it gonna be, would he be the next meeting? So today's what's,
I got the word for the sign and some of this stuff.
So the we'll try to get him on the 21st, if you guys wanna come, I'll have him explain to you that part of it. Cause I don't know, he said something about some state law or statute that has to be done that you couldn't get that permit.
Well, right, because he was going, I thought it was the board was messing around with me, because that's when then all Randy get it. Randy can't get it because they don't live there. Really, it's his house, he owns it.
Yeah.
You
And there
can't
has-
tell me
he
he
was-
was,
And
he
there's,
was-
and
he
for
can't
some
own
reason,
house.
he said something too that you couldn't do the work because
I
you did not own it.
Right, and
Right.
Randy couldn't, see, so
Right.
he was,
So he was trying for a year behind, and for him, he should have that grandfathered into the old fees. I'm asking that you at least take a look into that.
Well, I would
because he
definitely, I
was.
will, I'll definitely look,
I'm asking that you button
Yep.
these things up on,
we'll look into
the
that.
agendas.
And like, can you come to the 21st?
the 21st.
And I'll try to get Rick down here.
I need to explain it, so, he told me, but I never dreamt that it was gonna be $250 for a $1,500 job. I mean, that's 25%.
And this happened at the worst time of, most people
No,
are
you
having.
guys didn't
the
bring
most-
gas prices down,
The price of everything
Don't get us
is,
going on gas prices.
the price of everything is going up exponentially.
But,
The
no, that's-
times are toughest that we've ever seen in our lifetime,
Under-
and you guys
we
decided to
understand
do
that.
the, please
No.
don't talk over me.
Kevin, because you're saying the same thing all the time.
I didn't say
I
that.
understand why
I
you guys
did-
said it's
this
a
is a
bad
whole
time to
new
raise the
thing.
prices, but the village cannot afford to pay these and we're losing money.
Why did we get a building inspector on payroll when we went, how long without? We could've waited on some of these things instead of adding these costs.
We always
What,
had the building inspector.
We always had a building inspector. but
well,
we-
not one that required all of this extra stuff.
Right, because the village board was slacking on it, we never did it. It was supposed to have been done and we did it. We finally got
But-
somebody on.
But as far as it being now, you guys could have actually picked a better time, I'm just saying, you could have picked a better time, because Baldur's, check out their regulations, what they have, there's no time constraint that this was of the essence and stuff. This has been an ongoing thing with him, and with, what it looks like is all of a sudden, when it passes, magically, he can all of a sudden get a building permit, kinda like when I went for the fence, and I was told I could not get the, fence permit that day because I had to wait until the village board passed the ordinance. And I said, really, I have to wait?
Well, I don't know who told you that.
Well, that was, Carol.
Well, there's a reason why she's not here.
There's a lot of reasons why she's not
Yeah,
here.
we had issues with her, we're not gonna discuss that during the meeting, but, yeah. And for not raising, putting these increases on, when are we supposed to do it, Kevin? It has to be done sooner or later.
Sooner or later, but use it, right now, more people are pulling back restrictions and you guys keep adding to it. The water rates are gonna increase.
Well,
You guys are making a profit on the water, not the water, the sewer.
we're not making a profit on it.
You have a surplus according to your budget at the end of the thing, so I guess you're gonna spend it somewhere, but where you can put it and how you divert it
It's
and
got-
where it goes in the
right, it's
general
gotta-
fund and all this
It's
kind
gotta
of
be
stuff.
it's gotta be put for maintenance and equipment, I mean, the guy behind you, he'll tell you.
No, I
It's
get
state
that, but
regulated.
on the,
Yeah, and a lot of this is done by the PSC, which is the Public Service Commission, they tell us what to do.
yeah, they tell you the rates on the water, that
Yep.
they freeze the rates of the water,
Yep.
but you can raise
We
the
can't-
sewer rates,
right.
and you keep raising the sewer rates on people at bad times. I mean, this probably isn't the right time to discuss this. I mean, the issue is mostly about him with the things. Please grandfather him. I've been working with him on this stuff, trying to get this stuff resolved. He's been trying for a year to get the thing. I haven't been to a meeting in I don't know how long, a couple of years or whatever, but he's upset. And he's not the only one. There's other people that they don't, it's hard to follow the bouncing ball, you know, what's going on. So they don't come to you guys. They complain and they get angry and everything, and it's not your guys' fault for that and everything, but you're putting people like him, you saw how angry he was. And this is the added stress that's going on, and we're just trying to avoid some of that. It's not like, what are we doing wrong? We're just asking to button things up.
No, I'll talk to Rick and we'll see what the skinny on that was, how it started and where it went. So like I said, I can't give you an answer.
I know, I thought he'd be here, but he told me, and he did strictly tell me, when I was putting the electric in, I said, do I need any permits for this? No. He says, all up to Wisconsin Public Service. Wisconsin Public Service, and I was a nice guy about it. If they're gonna do it, I was nice, and he says, here's my electrician, Mark. And Mark says, is there anything we need? He says, yeah, you should check with, the village, just to make sure they don't need nothing. You told me to call Rick, I called him, you better go down to Village Hall, I think we have one. Really? You told me I didn't need one. And now, look at it, and that was within 3 weeks ago, he told me, because I told him I was busy trying to get my electric put in there, and I was to start signing.
Okay.
And he told me I did not need it, and now he nailed me $125 for one.
Well, let's do this then, Mike, before we get all out of hand here, let's wait till he can explain to what's going on, okay? 'Cause
Right,
like I
I
said,
said,
I
I
can't
don't
speak
like
for
you
him.
But I'm just saying, this is just a little ridiculous.
Right.
I have $2,000 stuck in this place that I didn't even think of was stuck there.
Right.
But he told me I did not need that permit. And then So I was a nice guy trying to work with him. Now, get down Michigan, you pay $125. Really?
Good. Let me, we'll talk to him, we'll get him on, I'll give him a call tonight or tomorrow and I'll get him scheduled on, can we get your number? In case he can't make that meeting,
Right.
I can call you, or Kathy will call you, and then we'll schedule for the following. I just wanna make sure he's here when you're here.
Right, I thought he would be here.
Right.
920-973-0949. And I walked around with him, told him exactly what all I wanted to do with the place. He said, yeah, we need permit for this, and I'm like, okay. I said, I'll work with you, you work with me, I'll work, but now I think I've been brought in to deal with this. I mean, I'd be better off just leaving it sit. But I need to put, I know I need steps. I gotta put a patio, see that thing, I put the patio doors, the windows in for $25. You guys had no problem with it. And, they had no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, we don't have a permit for windows.
Well, I had to get one. If you look in your records, I got a permit for the windows, I had no permit for the roof. Now you guys got a permit for it.
If you just are replacing a window without altering the headers and stuff,
Then you
then
can
you,
put it in.
then you,
I
then
put,
you
I
done.
put a bay window in, I put patio doors,
But
I
then
came
you,
down and I got the.
then you modified the header.
Did you change the headers and
Yes.
all? Then you need a permit for
And
that.
I got it down here.
Yeah.
I did have to, yeah,
Yeah.
and I put the patio door in, I had the permit, $25 it cost me. And all of a sudden.
Well, at that time, it probably was that, right? You're probably right.
When I'm saying this, why would you guys give me the permit for the windows when they're not a window place? And then when I came to get the siding, you wouldn't give me it.
That's our problem that we
I-
have, there was a
That's what-
fix,
that's
he
my
got
problem.
it that.
Right, I wanna try to figure that out.
And then all of a sudden he can't, and then
When you got
again,
this
just
big
like
short,
the
short
thing.
one, he said, nope, kid,
Yeah.
I got the window permit.
That's why I said, Mike, I can't give you an answer to that.
I know,
without
I'm not
him here,
blaming you
so-
guys, I just wanna.
No, that's fine. I mean, that's,
When he said, I want him to give me these answers.
I want an answer to that too, 100%.
Because he told me I did not need a permit for the electric. All of a sudden, get down there, pay $125. Oh, boy.
Well, I don't know why he would ever say that. You have to have a permit for doing electrical work, cause that's gotta be certified. We gotta have a certified electrician do
Then Mark
electrical
kept
work.
Liz, but then he told Mark he had, as soon as Wisconsin Public Service asked the village, I said, no, I don't need one. He said, well, okay. And I said, well, I'll just check with Rick just to be safe. And then he started smumbling a little bit, he said, yeah, you better go down to the town hall and get one.
Yeah, you have, for electrical work, you have to.
Wow.
There's a reason why those are inspected and it has to be done by a certified electrician, because you don't want the house start on fire some night or.
Do you think he's better than that Mark Keppel?
No. I don't, like I said, I don't know what he said to you.
He said, I need one. So I'm saying.
Mark does my electrical.
Right, I said.
Mark's a smart man.
He needs a guy that probably has no idea what electrical is about, to tell him how to do his job. I mean, I got a professional in
What
there.
is he talking about?
Well, Keppel did the work.
Yeah, but who is the inspector?
Rick was,
Rick.
it.
And when I
I thought
started
he
helping
did
him with
do
the
like-
siding,
I don't
how do
know.
I know?
Right, so why they pay $125 for inspector?
Well, that's what we gotta find out.
Just so
Make
I-
a list of this stuff when you come to the next meeting then.
Oh, yeah, I'm done, I'm getting a little worked up.
So,
Guys,
no,
guys,
Mike,
listen to me.
Mike, seriously, make a list or remember what you talked about, so when he's here, we can get this discussed, okay?
Oh, I'll remember, believe me,
Okay.
I'm happy with this
Well,
situation.
We'll try to get it
I
squared
don't,
away.
you know, I mean, it's not your, I know it's not your guy's fault.
And if we
Do what
can,
you gotta do.
grandfather you in, we'll talk about it, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. Yeah, I thought Rick would be here.
Yeah, no, he's not at every meeting.
No, I figured, he told me, I know very well, he told me they're not needed because of public service, and Mark Keppel was doing it.
Right.
If I do it myself, yes, but what do I
I
know?
think that's true, he needed for no matter who does it.
You would still need a permit even if Mike Keppel was doing the work.
But the inspections may be iffy, there's a lot of them that just say, we know you did the work, you're a contractor and you look the other way, you know? Not look the other way, but you don't need it inspected.
Yeah, they're not supposed to do that. There's a reason why you're paying an inspector to inspect, I mean, you want that done right, just in case, because, you know, even a certified guy could actually maybe miss something, I mean, it can happen.
When I do this, when I help him with the siding, what building codes am I gonna have to follow for siding and stuff? I don't know how picky this guy's gonna be, I don't know what he's gonna be looking for.
I don't think there's nothing on siding, Kevin. Is there?
How can it be? I don't know.
Permit wise, but if you look at like the uniform building code or something,
Yeah.
that's what he follows.
He follows a lot of that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. He does follow the unified building code.
And that's the state, unified is the
Yes.
state.
That is by the
And that's
state.
where you can sign the waiver off of the unified thing of saying that, you know, like if you did, or somebody who's not a licensed contractor can sign off on uniform building code, and basically they're signing, saying, all liability is, you know, you could get sued if something happens.
If he's doing the work himself, I do
Yes.
believe,
And I believe-
that's how that is.
And I'm
But
not
Rick can
sure.
give you the answer for sure on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
if he's doing the work, now, me not being a licensed contractor, I don't know, no, does Michigan have licensed
I think
contractor?
only the homeowner can actually do the work and not be a licensed contractor.
Electrical, correct, but siding
I
and
think
other
that's the
stuff,
same.
you can
Same
sign
thing,
off
like,
on the
if-
uniform building code, there's a waiver,
As long as I'm there.
I look at it as a waiver, just basically saying that if you're having somebody else do it, that I think I'd have to sign off on that.
That I don't know.
But how?
Wouldn't that be the same thing though, if you owned your house and let's say you had your brother come over to help you put siding on, you're not gonna have him sign a waiver, right? I mean, it wouldn't make sense. You know what I'm getting at? I don't know if you'd have to sign anything. I don't know.
We've never had to, this is opening all kinds
Well,
of
if you've got a
doors.
relative doing it, that's like technically doing it yourself.
Basically, yeah,
Right,
liability
right.
wise.
So it'd be the
yeah.
same thing, I think with a friend too, would be the same, I would think, I don't know, I'd have to ask him that too.
How are we going to, instead of calling, asking all these questions all the time, or how are we, you know, there should be a handbook of.
There's a
this is
list
the-
where's that list that the group you guys hand out for if you do?
This one?
Yeah, that's what we have.
Yeah, that's what you need the permits for, but that doesn't tell me a lot. Okay, now that he's gonna come and inspect, what is he expecting for? What code would I fall under that I would have to comply with? You know, we used to be under the county code for a lot of our building stuff. We didn't
Right.
have our own building codes. That's why we had these problems. We didn't have an inspector for the village of Mishicot because we fell, my understanding is we fell under the county's codes because Mishicot didn't really have its own building codes. You guys adopted the building codes and stuff based on, I think you basically copied and pasted almost
Lot of it was.
Manitowoc or whatever.
I don't know if it was that or if it all came, well, I know where, like, I thought a lot of that came still through the unified building code.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I think the counties is the same too.
Yeah, a lot of people are just like,
Yeah, 'cause, well, we got the bless, I think the attorney said it was fine to use it, and I think that's what the county came from the state, and then we did the same thing. So all those,
I'm
but
kinda having
really, when
trouble
he
finding
comes and
where-
inspects something, he should be able to, he should write that, what's the word I'm looking for?
The uniform, the code.
Well,
number?
he should write the code on there. He should let you know what that is.
which I gotta follow, like for siding, it's like, is there a certain way we've gotta wrap this? Is it, how picky is he going to be? And anybody else from here on, cause we now have a completely new operation here, are we gonna sit there and try to hammer this out every time? Like you just thanked Sortwell for his beautiful, website. We're left here with like, you know, how are we gonna close this gap up too? From me, I have no clue what you guys want. Based on what you told me, it's like, pay me and we'll leave you alone. That's basically what that translates into, literally, is everything on the website.
Everything should be on our
We'll
website.
leave you alone.
Everything should be on our website, all the codes are on there.
Are they?
It should be.
Well, the ordinances, but not, the building codes I'm talking
I
about.
think there's a link on there.
There's a
The
link.
building-
Is there?
It should be on there.
Okay. I'll try to
It
work
should
on
be.
that.
Make a note, Ken, check that it should be on there. Cause then if he gives you that number, you should be able to go onto that website and to that link and then look it up, and it should be an explanation of what it
Requirements are,
is.
what you guys are gonna be looking for and
Right,
everything like that.
but as far as siding, I know there's no permit for siding. I don't think there's,
No,
well,
they have-
like you said though, it might suggest in the building code, you know, that's a good point, Kevin, that how picky is he gonna be on somebody? Do you have to
Exactly,
wrap?
and
Do you have to wrap it? Does all the seams have to be taped? Well, technically they should, because
Exactly.
that's the only way it's gonna work.
Exactly, but
You know?
somebody that's just like, you know what, like my roof, I got 2 layers of 30-pound felt on that sucker. You know, if then shingles come off and that whole layer comes off, that shit is not going in. That's the way I do roofs and stuff like that. Somebody else some people go first line, 1 layer, that's it, you know, and it's okay. When we do come across at the village and stuff with roofs and stuff like this, when he's gonna inspect it, how are we gonna know what he's gonna be looking for?
I would
I
almost,
believe 2 layers is legal, 3 not, but 2. you
well,
can
he's
do.
talking, yeah, but he's not talking
Felt.
about 2 layers of shingles.
Most people go 15-pound felt,
Yeah.
I go 30-pound
He's
felt,
talking
and that's
about-
not even good enough
he's
to
talking- yeah.
double layer that.
I would almost think whatever it says in that unified building code is what he's gonna follow.
Okay,
But I'm not, I can't speak for him though.
okay.
That's another good question for him here too, when he comes to that meeting.
I'm just looking mostly, everything I've ever kind of pointed is ease of operation, following the procedures. Somebody should be able to have the closer we are to a shade well sort of thing, the better that we'll all be off. You know, the better we're in compliance with everything, the better we're all gonna be
Right.
off. That's all I ever really been asking. I'm not the best articulate person at times when I butt heads with people, but, that's really all that I'm after.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to see now, is we have something like that before, you know, not mopping up the messes. You know, this went through pretty quick, because 2 meetings ago, you guys were having the discussions, and then all of a sudden, now it's already through, and we still have a lot of loose ends of this stuff, so. Hopefully we can do a little better.
Alright.
Alright.
But it's alright to call you?
Yeah.
And then you can let Kevin, if Kevin wants to come down too, and, you can ask those questions too.